Okay, this afternoon I'm talking to you from our kitchen table actually, where we're going to take care of a chronic problem that we've had with the water system in our van, and that is that the whale pump that we have leaks, and it leaks up around the plunger area and leaks and down onto the countertop. My wife really doesn't like that, and it's caused us to have to put rubber bands and paper towel around it to keep it from leaking everywhere. So it's time to put an end to that. Did some searching, found out what the fix is for this, and it's really a matter of adding an O-ring, and number 11 O-ring actually. And all you need is a little crescent wrench, something to pry with, and maybe a screwdriver to get the trim piece. And that's really about it. So now we'll go to the table and we'll do the upgrade, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to make a modification to the Whale V pump or 5 pump Mark 6, which is pretty common out there. This is what the top of the packaging looked like. Here is a sheet that comes with it that gives an exploded view of kind of where we're headed. This is the mount for putting it on the surface next to your sink on the countertop. We've got some silicone grease. Basically, it is food grade grease, and so it won't taste bad, it won't harm anything or harm any people who drink the water. We've got a screwdriver, we've got a pry tool, kind of came with something else, but it's plastic, which is important so we don't booger up the plastic. And then we've got a small crescent wrench here. So I'm going to get rid of this sheet for now and move a couple of these things to the side. And we're going to start by taking the bottom off with the crescent wrench. So it doesn't take much force to get this open, and it's just a little tight where it's compressed one of the O-rings, and then this threads right out, and you can see the little valve in there that does the actual work. On a rebuild kit, I bet you get some of these rubber parts, but I hear these things will last a long time without the rebuild. Then you look in there and you can see where the plunger goes in and out. There we go. So now we've got to get this plunger out. Okay, where we are is we're trying to get this plunger out that's here, and what I've discovered is that this aluminum tube screws into this plastic here that's in my left hand, and we can unscrew this tube and we can begin to pull it out carefully, and especially as we get to some threads that are right in here, we're going to pull this plunger out through these threads, kind of twisting a little bit. There we go. All right, make sure that we haven't damaged that plunger. Now we're going to take another piece off of the end here. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to put this up this way so that we know which way that it goes back on. And then this can pull straight out. All right. And so there's the plunger mechanism. And now we're left, we need to get this cap off so that we can get an O-ring under there. And I'm using like a table knife to carefully go around the edges One thing to note is there's a key. This thing didn't just go on and spin, it has to go on, and there's a key that's lined up with this nozzle right here. So it may be easier to dislodge that first and then work your way around the edges to get the thing out. There we go. So there's the cap. Here's the inner. So here's a, I think they refer to this as a U-packing type of O-ring. It's sort of U-shaped. It's hollow on the bottom. I'm not sure if you can see that, but and it doesn't saddle on there, but it just goes inside. And I tried earlier, and it's a lot easier to get it in place with the plunger out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get one of our number 11 O-rings. This is the fix for the leak that these are notorious for. So we can put this in place above that U-packing deal. So we're going to get a little bit of our grease. It's a brand new bottle. So I've got to deal with this foil. No problem there. Put that aside. And now I can get to some of the grease to put this thing on. So I'm going to start by putting a little bit on top of this guy right here. Just kind of put some dabs on there, and then I'll smooth it with my finger. It's not going to matter that some of this gets around. This should help also with the leaking, and should also help with the, I'm putting some on this O-ring. It's really just enough from what was left on my fingers. And I'm going to put the cap on first. So let's do that. And then I'm going to put the O-ring beneath the cap. So it'll be beneath the cap, but it'll be above the U-packing. And number 11 is the size, for sure, on this guy. I think I kind of rolled that over. I need to straighten it out. Here we go. There we go. I'm going to put just a little bit more grease, just a touch here, and put that around here, and then this will squeegee that down. So now we've got the cap, then the new O-ring, and now we're going to put it back. We're going to put it back in here this way. Now remember I talked about that key. Can you see that? That key has to line up with the spout, and you can feel it sort of go in a little bit further. And then we should be able to pop that back into place. So then what you do is you just give it a couple of good wraps on the table. I got some grease on my mat. Nice. All right, and now you got smooth action there. So now we can basically reverse what we did. I'm going to put the cap back on this because I don't think I need it anymore. I'm going to put a little bit on, this guy. Just a tiny bit. just enough to condition it. This is our spare, by the way. So I'm going to do the same thing to the one that's in service right now. And let's go ahead and put this back in. And really just finger tight. Let me get a paper towel. All right, now we can do away with the grease. Now we're going to put the main body back in. That goes in nice because everything's nice and greased a little bit. Again, hand tight, finger tight. Now this is the valve. So that disc and that little plastic peg in there are really kind of what does the work, opening and closing, and making it where it draws the water up through the tube. Use our crescent wrench, not too tight, but enough to make sure that it doesn't come down. And it's about the same force that it took before we did it. We can put this trim piece back on. Actually, what kind of holds it? It's pretty cool the way this thing works. So you can set the height, yet it'll still swivel. And in our case, we swivel the faucet like either over the sink or outside where we can fill up our hydration packs. All right, so that was some disassembly and reassembly and applying these number 11 O-rings from Danco. I've seen that company in the hardware store plenty of times working on indoor house plumbing. And that is pretty much it. Again, if you get lost, this pretty much tells you the order things go in, and basically the new O-ring goes right above that U-packing, as they call it, right there. So that's it.